Shadow work. What is it and why are we so afraid of it? My name is Steve Forchetti and I help guide people along their spiritual awakenings. So today we're going to start a discussion that we will continue in future videos, but we're going to at least start the discussion today about a topic that is very near and dear to me, shadow work. What is the shadow self? The shadow self is a concept that was developed by Carl Jung in the 1900s in order to describe hidden parts of ourselves. Things that we keep from the world because we're afraid of being perceived as weak or afraid, or any negative emotions that may come up that make us think that others will think of us as less than. So what things cause the shadow self? It could be many things. Typically things that happen to us during our childhood, such as traumatic events, abuse, neglect, things that turn into fears as an adult, such as fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, other things like that. How do these things manifest into our adult personalities? They manifest as addictions, mental health disorders, codependency, scarcity mindset, anger, depression, and even extreme independence. It gets to a point where we feel that we no longer need other people's help because other people have disappointed us so much that we can take care of all of our things ourselves, and we don't need to reach out to other people. This in itself puts us in a corner because we no longer reach out, we no longer seek to connect with other people because we're afraid of being disappointed again. All of these things hinder us from having emotional freedom and from having pure joy and pure happiness. This is why we do what's called shadow work, where we confront this shadow. We bring the light in to illuminate the darkness within us so that we can overcome it. No matter what, you'll never be able to outrun your shadow. You'll never be able to get rid of it. Think about it when you're walking outside. The brighter the sun shines, the more our shadow is present. You can never outrun your shadow, but you can integrate it. And that's the purpose of shadow work, is to be able to find the benefit in these things, in these experiences, by using alchemical processes, journaling, meditation, yoga, all sorts of different spiritual tools are used as tools in your toolbox in order to help integrate and overcome these things and take the bad parts away and learn the lessons within so that you can become the person that you're meant to be and have that feeling of bliss, that feeling of love for yourself, for others, for life. All of the things that a lot of us these days frankly don't have because of experiences that we've had. So these shadow self aspects can also manifest as resistance to change that benefits us. So self-destructive patterns. Just an example of one way that I personally have overcome this type of resistance by doing shadow work is that there was a period of time when I was unemployed, but I knew that there was a course coming up that I really wanted to take. It was taking place in London, and you had to apply for it. You had to get accepted into it, and there was a $100 application fee. I didn't have a job, but I had some money left over, and something just told me inside, you can do this. You can do it. You just got to take that leap of faith. So I didn't know how I was going to be able to afford travel, this course, anything, but something told me, pay the deposit. So I overcame my lack mindset of how am I going to be able to pay for these things? I don't have income, and I just did it anyways. And by doing that, I broke the dam, and I put my application in, and the very next day I got a call for an application that I put in a couple weeks prior, and I got a job. So as you start to break through these resistant patterns, abundance flows in, love flows in, ultimately light flows in. When you confront your shadow, good things happen. So now, why do we want to do this? Again, I already mentioned that we want to do shadow work in order to have emotional freedom. By the way, that course was exactly what I was looking for in life. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. It was a program of the Modern Mystery School that really taught me a lot of extra tools that I've been using in the last couple months in order to help just keep going through those hurdles. If you have any questions about that, feel free to send me a message or leave a comment. I can answer any questions about the Modern Mystery School. There's a lot of really cool empowerment tools that are taught with them. So other benefits of doing shadow work would be improved relationships, because you're getting a better understanding of yourself and also how to accept others by overcoming these hurdles and these fears, these rejection mindsets, these fears of abandonment. You're learning that just because something happened in the past doesn't mean that it has to happen again. Yes, cycles do repeat, but only if you allow them to. You can learn from the cycles of the past, and when you see the same events happening again with new characters in the story this time, you can make a different choice. Take a different path. It doesn't have to be the same way. You can have increased energy and an improved immune system. If you're not constantly living in a world of fear, you're not suppressing yourself. When your mind is at a state of dis-ease, you manifest disease. So by doing shadow work and overcoming these fears, these phobias, these worries, these aches, these pains, you increase your immune system, because your body is less likely to have disease when your mind is not at dis-ease. You'll have overall enhanced state of well-being and mood. Same thing. I mean, you're just going to be happier because you'll have confronted these things, and you won't have these chains that are holding you to the past anymore. You'll be able to live a free life. You'll have better communication with others, because you'll learn how to better communicate with yourself. You'll have a better sense of who you are and what is not acceptable. You'll be able to set boundaries and furthermore enforce those boundaries. And you'll also be able to cease the cycle of self-destruction. So going back to my example earlier, had I just thought to myself, I can't really swing this $100, who knows what would have happened? I didn't take that path. I took the one of more resistance. When we take the path of least resistance, we often don't get what we're looking for, and we perpetuate these cycles. So had I not taken that leap of faith, I might not have gotten that call the next day. I might have continued to struggle, or I might have gotten a different job where I didn't make as much money, or I wasn't as valued as I was at that position. Again, who knows? But we know. We do know. When you do what you're supposed to do and you live in alignment, good things come. And that's what shadow work does. It helps you to live in alignment. If we ignore our shadows and just choose to live in ignorance of it, just living in what we perceive to be the light, we become blinded by the light. And when you're blinded by the light, you're not able to see the other things that are sneaking up behind you. This is why we do shadow work. So I am a shadow work coach. This is what I do. This is what I've dedicated my life to helping people get through this process. You are the hero in your journey. I'm just the guide, because I've been through this myself many, many times in many different facets of my life. I want to help people get through these processes. So again, we're going to get further into this topic. We're going to dive deeper into this topic in future videos. But if you have any questions, or if you'd like to schedule a free discovery call, please click the link in the description or send me a message. I give a shit about you. I promise. I promise. So one technique that you can do to help with shadow work on your own is to do what we call mirror work. There are many layers to mirror work, but one of the easiest things that you can start to do is that every time you go past a mirror, typically in the bathroom, most people have a bathroom or have a mirror in their bathroom. When you go past the mirror, look yourself in the eyes and say, I love you. Even if you don't feel it in the moment, or you don't feel it today, tomorrow, or next week, just keep doing it. At least once a day. Just tell yourself, I love you. And eventually that pattern will stick and you'll begin to feel it. And as you shine that light in the darkness of your heart, it'll begin to illuminate and soften, and it'll crack. And you'll begin to feel that emotional freedom by telling yourself that you love yourself. Why wouldn't you love yourself? You're the only person that you have at the end of the day. Love yourself. Today's books are The Light and Dark Fragments of Time by J.D. Stahl. J.D. Stahl was a teacher at my high school that ended up going into counseling for drugs and rehab, or for drug and alcohol rehabilitation. And these books are a compilation of poems and poetry from people that he knows, some of his own work. It goes into the light aspects as well as the dark aspects. He confronted the shadow in this book, and he really put onto paper, metaphorically, of course, ways of confronting these aspects of himself and all the other people that contributed to the book. Fantastic books, great compilation, great work, especially if you love poetry or love short stories. I definitely suggest checking them out. And this one is called Becoming the One. So again, you have to observe the light and observe the dark to become the one. This book talks about overcoming past traumas and being able to heal through events that have happened and to be able to work through those things. So books are great. Books can help, but sometimes you need a little bit extra help. So again, reach out. I'm here to help. The links for these books will be in the description below. And until next time, I hope you have a nice day. Namaste.